Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. We're so excited to see you all here today, everyone who is joining us for a new leadership playbook. This is a conversation series that sprung out of our creative minds and inspiration because we've done a series together before like this, and we wanted to do something new, something that would be helpful. And this is an idea that we're exploring now. So Natalie, would you like to share more and introduce yourself?
Well, this is such an exciting thing, everyone, because Keshawn and I just love sharing our wisdom, collaborating, and vibing off each other. And we thought we did the Savor Series, which we enjoyed and had so much insights from each other
Yes.
from that we thought, wouldn't it be great to do something more long-standing, more not more aligned, but as aligned with both the things we do as coaches in terms of leadership and transformational leadership, especially, and have a whole live series where we are focused on topics that she and I we've walked the walk, we
Yes.
talk the talk,
Yes.
like things that we know you all who are listening will get so much value and insight from, and we just so
Okay.
excited to share.
So excited. It's like whenever Natalie speaks, I'm picking up so many insights. And so this is just a pleasure for me to just partner with you again, Natalie. Let me just say, and I'm excited for what I'm going to learn because I am still on the journey of leadership. I feel like I want to always be that.
Well, we will always be. I
Yes.
think we all will always be. And I
Yes.
have an insight I want to share. But before we do it, let's introduce ourselves,
Let's do
Keshawn.
it.
So
Yes.
my name is Natalie Jody. I am a transformational leadership coach and a best-selling author. My new book is called "It's Your Time to Shine, Girl." It's right here somewhere. It's
Yes.
your time to shine, girl. Very proud of that book, a leadership and empowerment book for women. I am passionate about helping and guiding women to be the best version leader that they can be. And I didn't really say that the way I normally say it, but it's how it's flowing right now in terms of knowing and understanding from my own journey, but all the clients that I've worked with, seeing that leadership is something that evolves over time. And to be the best leader you can be, you have to become the best who you can be. And oh, somebody just joined us
Yes.
on
Thank you
LinkedIn.
for being here. Thank you. We're happy you're here too.
Yeah, so this idea of leading with our best version of ourselves, leading unapologetically, confidently, boldly, all of those things are the things that light me up, and helping other women, other people, because it's not just women anymore. There's a few good men in the container, helping these individuals become and lead so that they can impact lives in transformative ways is the heart of my why. And I can see myself doing nothing else that's as fulfilling.
Same, same. I can't see myself doing anything else. I pivoted into this work, into this career in 2020, full steam. And I'm so thankful that I have. I'm Keshawn Hughes. I'm a certified neuro coach and neuro leadership consultant. I founded Neuro Savvy Leadership. And through this organization, I coach leaders one on one, and I provide consultations and training and developments to organizations to help build inclusive workforces, to help leaders feel more confident, to help them feel more assured, more willing to take risks with courage and come out on the other end better for it. We're building culture. Culture is built one person at a time.
Amen.
At a time. And so when people understand their own leadership style, their own gifts and abilities, and then they can help to transform others, it helps them to understand others more. And that's what I'm here to do. The information that I now am exposed to every day, interacting and engaging with leaders, is what I wished I always had. I wish I always had when I was in the workforce. I'm now on the other side. I'm an entrepreneur still serving people in the workforce. And so I feel like this is another way to connect and share because it's so important, especially now. It always has been, but I always say especially now because of the challenges that people are experiencing as leaders and as people who want to lead successfully and in connected ways. So we're here and we're going to share and we're going to connect and we're going to grow along with people as we do so.
Amen. Amen. Yes. So we one of the things, Keshawn and I, one of the things about both our brands is that we're both very authentic, and we don't come across as, even though we are experts in our domain and our fields, We never like, I'm the expert. I know everything. We are both always so transparent about what we're learning and growing from each other, from whatever we're learning in our own lives, and sharing some of our own challenges and parts of our journey that got us to where we are today. Like, I have had so many, and my book talks a lot about my little windy journey from really being somebody who never saw herself as a leader, never even was dreaming about anything to do with leadership. And seeing how my life brought me to this place where I'm called to lead. Like, so it's like, sharing our stories, but our insights and our wisdom, because there's so much wisdom after you've walked the journey and you've done the work and you've had your own transformation. There's wisdom to be had that has to be shared. And I think Keshawn and I are both very passionate about sharing our nuggets, our wisdom, our learnings, so that you all can take from it and do the things and be the leader and change the world the way you're meant to.
Absolutely. And ask us questions. We're still learning. If we don't know the answer, I'll say this: if I don't know the answer, I want to go find it. I want to find ways to express myself and to support everyone who has an interest in becoming a better leader. And that, like you said, it was so interesting when you said that you didn't think of yourself as a leader. It brought me to a place where I was running or facilitating a workshop on leadership influence last week. And the HR leader who called me in to do it, she commented in the comments as we were doing this virtual workshop and said, I love how these concepts don't apply to people who are just people managers. Every time she talks about something, it's referring to us all as leaders, because we all are leaders.
Exactly.
Said, absolutely. We are all leaders. You don't have to be a people manager to consider yourself a leader. You don't have to be anything to consider yourself, because it comes from within. We're all all uniquely made. So we're called to lead in some aspect, and of course to follow in others. And so really calling that out in others, in people, in us all, is, especially if we don't necessarily see it in ourselves, it's already in there. It's in there. You're designed for leadership. And so we want to help in the ways that we know how.
I just love, you just gave me goosebumps, because this is what I say all the time too. Like, I start off my book saying, okay, if you don't think you're a leader, let me tell you why you're a leader. And it doesn't mean you have to have a team. It doesn't mean you have to have a certain amount of title, a certain whatever income bracket. I mean, none of those things that we used to, maybe some of us thought meant that we can only lead if we can only be a leader if we have these things in place. None of that actually matters. And as Keshawn is saying, it's about who you're meant to serve, your impact, your influence, and how you do that in a way that's positive, healthy, and sustainable. And leadership, everybody is, I believe it too, every one of us is designed to lead in a special, unique domain that is ours to own. And when we I call myself the brilliance and Bill, I didn't say that before, but like, when we own the full brilliance that we bring to all the arenas, to all the stages and spaces that we're in, that's when we make the impact and have the legacy and have the change that we probably wish to see, that we didn't know that we had a part to play in.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. I wrote down legacy. It's coming up a lot in conversations, in rooms that I'm in, and comments that I see in my social media feeds. It's so important because it speaks to strategic leadership. And having a strategy it carries out and is experienced over time. And it can seem counterculture, because the culture and the society that we live in is so right now. It's so right now oriented. I want results now, like literally microwave popcorn type of timing, right? And so it can cause us distress, just coming from a neuroscience-based lens, when we aren't seeing externally the results that we're looking for as we're on this leadership journey. When we're not getting the inputs that help us to know that we are putting out the right outputs, right? As a disconnect between those. But I want people to feel assured, once again, when they come into our space, when they come into these conversations, that it is strategically aligned. And these things do take time. And it's almost like you can build up to a crux, if you will, a peak, to where it becomes automatic. As you're learning these new skills, it can feel shaky, it can feel uncomfortable, but discern whether or not that discomfort is for your good or harmful. And we're going to be coming from the good. We're going to talk about things that are helpful, that are transformational, and we want to be able to do it collectively, which is so important. So we're excited about that. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, everything you said, I echo that. And I'll just say that the reason I call myself transformational leadership coach is because it's not a quick thing. It's not a one and done. It's a marathon, not a
Yes.
sprint. And if you're willing to do the work and to walk the walk that is a marathon, you will get there. But if
Yes.
you're looking for that quick, quick changes in what you see or what you want to have happen, you might get a quick little burst, but then it would not be sustainable. And
That's
we're all about what can endure, what
yes.
change is actually a true change, a true
Mhm.
shift in perspective that
Mhm.
one can endure and make a lasting impact. When you just have those quick little bursts of whatever you want to call them, and it
Mhm.
looks like success, but at the end of the day it was just like a little blip, does that really count at the end of the day? So Keshawn,
Mm.
I think it's a good time to like look at some of the themes you want to talk
Yes.
about in
I
this
cannot
series.
wait. Yes. Some of the things that really stood out to me, and Natalie and I, we have touch bases just on one on our own. And this is where this idea for us to do a recorded live series came from, because just our one-on-one conversations, I always, during the conversation, said, this should be recorded. I'm picking up so many gems. This is so many insights we're creating on the spot, and things are coming together. We're having our own aha moments. And as we were doing that the last time we met, we talked about the importance of friendship, the difference between friendship, allyship, and other types of relationships that all leaders need to be their most successful, to be their most authentic, right? And so that's something that's coming up in the chat. We need that. When someone said we grow in the essence of discomfort, and we grow
Yes.
even more when we have people who are there in our corners, who are giving us wonderful advice, advice that is customized to us, our unique needs, that meets our inner needs as well as our external outward needs. And so that's one of the topics that I'm really excited about to discuss. I see it more and more now, people talking about the importance of friendship, and when friendships go awry, how that can affect you and the way that you lead. These are things that we want to get down into the details about and discover together ways that we can navigate that in ways that are helpful and help us be more successful.
Yeah, and I want to go back to this whole idea of the squad. Like, so in my book, I have a whole chapter on success squad, and the
Yes,
reason why I put that in there is because you can't lead and be effective if you're not surrounded by the right
that's
people.
right.
And it's not only about, like there's that saying that says you are the outcome of the five people who are
Yes,
closest to you, kind of thing.
that's right.
That's actually really true. Like the
It
people,
is
the
true.
voices in your ear, the things that people say, who you are around, what they do, how they like, how they speak to you, all of that impacts your inner sense of self-worth, confidence, and competency, and that affects how you express and showcase your leadership. So the
Absolutely.
people, your squad, want to be a leader who's making an impact. You have to be very intentional about creating that squad, a
Mhm.
squad of people of different tiers or different aspects of your life, but in the end of the day, a whole circle of people that is really there to support you and to make you be the strongest, healthiest version of yourself that you can be, so that the people, the voices, the people who are in your head is positive and
Yes,
cheerleading and supportive, and not diminishing and critical. And because those voices, oh my god, and I have a lot of those voices from the past
yes,
that still come up, they can literally hold you back and sabotage your success and your impact. And
absolutely.
so the people in your life, and this is like, so even though this is about leadership, you think it's all about professional stuff.
Yes,
we
it's
are we are fully integrated human beings, and our
yes,
lives are like, we can't
yes.
just go professional, I'm going to do that. It's
Mhm.
all of our personal, our spiritual, all the aspects of that makes us who come into play even in our leadership. And so whether it's our family, whether it's our friends, whether it's our colleagues, the people that are closest to you,
Mm.
we're going to go deep into what that can look like in terms of friendship, allyship, sponsorship, mentorship, and how that impacts your capacity and ability to lead with influence and impact.
Absolutely. It will show up in your results. It will show up in your environment. It will show up in the words that you say about yourself to others. It will show up in the way people speak about you. All
Yes.
of this will be reflected in who you have surrounding you, who you have pouring into you or actually taking from
Taking
you.
away.
okay, taking away from you. So we're going to go into the different aspects of what that looks like and why it's important. We're going to talk about developing a new high achiever playbook because both of us identify as high achievers, even overachievers, right? And I was one in that in a way that was not healthy. It led to burnout. It led to cynicism. It led to just a disillusion about who I'm here to be and how I'm designed. And so that's what led me to discover neuroscience. It was a language I really understood. It was practical, it was process oriented, and it was something that I just latched on to as a way to connect with other humans because we all have a brain and they tend to function in similar ways, but we experience them differently.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to talk about how we can, what are the steps, what are the chapters, what are the new pages that we can write? We can write them as we're leading, right? To help us as high achievers do so in a way that is healthy and actually fuels our happiness. It fuels our joy and our sense of purpose. How we can really identify when we're overworking and overdoing and how we can cut back in ways that will actually elevate our results. That
Yeah.
will make them exponential, powerful results, not only for ourselves, but for others. Let's talk
Absolutely.
about that. We're going to discuss that in detail.
Yeah, so I want to just kind of like bullet point, like if you think any of this sounds like you, then you qualify for a high achiever.
Yes.
As a high achiever. So it's like if you find yourself overworking a lot and overdoing, if your self-care is not where it needs to be, if you seem to think of rest as I don't really need to rest that much, if you realize or understand that maybe your boundaries need some work, if your work-life balance is kind of like wonky, if you tend to suffer from shiny object syndrome, and we all know what that could look like in various ways, if you know that you're susceptible or on the edge or the brink of burnout because you're doing so much, if you're somebody who doesn't know how to stop and pause and honor and celebrate what you've done, all these are aspects of that high achiever grinding mentality. And Keshawn and I, as again recovering high achievers, we're going to talk about the healthy high achiever because we're still going to be achieving because you know what, when you have that achiever drive, it's kind of hard when I know for me anyway, Keshawn, if I try to clamp that down, then I'm not really me anymore. I'm like a numbed version of myself. So that is what gives me like momentum and ignition and all the things. But I want it to be a healthy kind of achievement, right? So like a drive. So we're going to talk about what it looks like to have that drive to achieve and to do good things and impactful things, but from a very healthy, from a very holistic, from a place of grace and not grind. Like I was just sharing with Keshawn, this book by Shea Bynes called Grace Over Grind. And it's all about how if we live under the banner of grace versus like, I got to make it happen, our outcomes are so different. And the way we experience our life is totally game changing and like, wow. So like, we're going to talk more about that. And I can't wait to get into this because it's something that I'm like, oh, so many high achievers out here. And all we know how to do is to operate the way we always have. And the new leadership playbook is about operating in a new, informed, evolved way so that you thrive.
We're going to be interrupting some patterns. I love a good pattern interrupt, right? I love a good rewire. So talking about and thinking about the concepts of unlearning versus just rewiring what we are, rewiring our brains to learn new things and go about achievement in a way that's healthier for us from the inside out. We can see the results. If you were to look at a brain that achieves success in a burnout oriented way versus one that strives for success and achieves success in a healthier, more mindful way, you will see two completely different pictures of brains. One that is weaker and smaller in some areas versus one that is juicy and thriving and vibrant, right? And so we're going to provide those kinds of perspectives so that you know that these are not just concepts and theoretical ideas that we're discussing. These are grounded in evidence and literally have been experienced by us and what we see developed in the clients that we coach, the clients that we consult over time. So I'm just excited. I could talk about this all day. We do talk about this all day.
Keshawn is like the learner that it never stops. The learner,
Yes.
she's a total learner person. I am too, but she
Yes.
beats me by like a mountain.
Oh, thank you.
I think one of the other things we're gonna get into here, because we're talking about leadership and a new way to lead, is this idea of power versus control, right? Ooh.
We talked about that, and this comes up too in coaching. Here's the thing. We take the cobwebs off so you can even discern which one you're doing. Because sometimes people are really thinking of themselves as powerful. I am empowered, when really they're just afraid and they're controlling everyone and controlling their environment, and they're doing it to their detriment. It's not long-term. It's fear-based oriented, and it's not something that I would say that modern organizations and cultures who want inclusive, empathetic, high emotional intelligence, people who are able to regulate their emotions and see big picture. We don't want people who are controlling and thinking that they're empowered, thinking that they're powerful. So we're going to talk about the differences and the nuances and ways that we can all become better when it comes to that.
And be more self-aware, because a lot of this is about self-awareness, right? So like, you might think you're being empowered, but you're actually being controlling.
Yes.
So it's self-awareness. It's about what is happening right now. Like, what am I in the right posture, or the posture that's not serving me? You know what I mean? So like really getting deeper, and Keshawn and I are all about the depth.
Yes.
Getting deeper in these ideas of how to be self-aware in terms of all these aspects we're talking about, and know for yourself when you're in a place where you can thrive and grow and really shine, versus a place where you think you're making momentum, but you're really controlling, and then it's not sustainable, it's not thriving, and you end up in a not a good place in the end. So just getting into all of those nuances. And I think, speaking of shine, because that's that was my key word it's one of my key words for the year, because my book is It's Your Time to Shine, Girl. And shining is about, it's not an outer thing. We see it outwardly, but it starts from within.
Everything
and
does.
It's like we can't shine what we don't have inside of us. We can't. We could try to look apart and fake it, but the people will know the difference. And so shining, and to me, shining is like giving people a glimpse of the glory of God in you and your works, right? So I feel like shining is such an inner game. It's such about who you are, how you're wired, but how you are postured in a way that is healthy, is growth oriented, is about self-awareness. It's about transformative impact, is about generosity, it's about empathy, or the heart postured leadership, all the things Keshawn and I love and talk about and embrace. It's, at the end of the day, your heart, that posture of your heart is everything, and it orients who you are and where you go and the impact you have. And so this notion of shining, the shiny object syndrome, we don't mean it that way. We mean like that brilliance that's already inside of you, that it has the space to come out, and that you have the authority, the agency, and the sovereignty. One of my favorite words right now, the sovereignty to channel it in a way that can be received in the best way to make the most amazing ripple making impact in the lives of other people.
Listen, you preaching. I'm fed. Thank you. It's like that's so good. That is so good. I'm looking at the comments. Someone said it comes from the love that we have within us.
I love that.
It's the most powerful feeling, emotion, motivator in the universe. It's the most creative one. And how often does love come up in leadership conversations? Not enough, I would say. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes.
For that, I'm curious, do you have questions? Do you have suggestions on topics you'd love for us to explore in this series? We'll be coming together every other Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be live on a social platform of your choice, on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. So we want to know, what questions do you have? What conversations, topics would you like us to explore? Please share. We want to be able to get into this with you and learn from you, like I said, and gain, so that we can then share it back outward. That's our whole goal for this.
Yes, it's all about you, all about how we can help you and
Yes.
ourselves as we chat.
Yes.
It's about all the collective of us
Yes.
supporting and championing each other to be the best versions of ourselves as we lead and impact lives.
Mhm. Natalie, even in your description as a transformational coach, and I've heard you say transform several times throughout this conversation, I'm just reminded once again of another comment that I had conducting a leadership workshop. And one of the outcomes from the workshop was to have transformational outcomes. And someone
Mm.
shared with me prior to, I always send out a survey to get people's questions, just like I'm doing here, and see how we can address it specifically as we come together as a collective. And someone says, transformational outcomes scare me. When I hear the word transform, I feel afraid. And I just
Ooh.
want to talk about that because this fear that we are living with daily, that sometimes isn't even brought into our awareness until someone presents it to you on a platter and says, hey, it's going to be better, but it's going to be transformational. The perception that
Mm.
we have of change,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
people come into this conversation, that's what we're going to really be talking about and going into deep detail about is change
Mhm.
and how scary that can be. Do you have any ideas, anything
Oh
you'd
my,
like to share from that?
I was just, oh my God, that just makes me go like, whoo, so much to
Yeah.
say there. But this whole, I think quite a, I don't know, I should say a lot, but many people are scared of change because change involves work.
Yes.
It
Oh, there,
involves
there we go.
it involves being uncomfortable, right? And that's the hardest thing. Is like you can't make something into something different without a period of transition. And that period of transition is going to be uncomfortable because it's not familiar. It's not
Yeah.
known to you. And so many
Mhm.
people are just comfortable doing what they've always done, even though they're getting the same results. They keep doing the same thing. You say it's sanity, is
Isn't
doing
that
the
the definition of insanity? I was like, oh, she's like,
right? And the only way to change the script, to change the outcomes, is for to change to come from within and to go through that discomfort, to do the work, and to
Mhm.
be comfortable with stretching oneself and one's perspectives and one's mindset in ways that might be foreign and scary in the moment.
In the
But
moment.
when you just ride that out, that timeline out, you will emerge in a place of like a whole new landscape where
Mhm.
everything is going to look different and feel different, and you will, because you will be different. You could be
Mhm.
seeing the same vision or
Yes.
vista, but because you're different, it will look different.
Hmm.
And so change is like, as someone who's gone through so many changes in
Thank
my
you.
life, I mean,
Too.
personally, professionally, all the spiritually, all
Mhm.
the things, it's not easy. None of us going to come here and be up here saying it's so easy, ladies and guys. It's not easy, but it's the path that is worth the trod.
Absolutely. And it can feel easier when you have support, when you have guidance that is skilled, that is empathetic, when you have your tribe of your squad, your success squad, when you have people like Natalie and I who have been there, who are in it now and can provide you with tools and resources and recommendations that are useful, that are customized to you. If you're going to go about a change experience to become a better leader, do it with resources, do
Yes.
it with authentic voices that are speaking from a place of you're good, that we're here for the greater good.
Yeah.
We're here to share what we've learned, what we know, what we do daily, our own daily habits. We understand how difficult that is. Like Natalie was saying, our brain wants to do what's familiar, even when it's not in alignment with our values or our goals, our vision for ourselves.
Yeah.
So we have to learn how to do it step by step, and we'll give you some very practical ways to do that. Mindfulness techniques, journaling exercises and prompts, case studies, examples,
Books to
testimonials.
read.
Yes, a book. Yes, books to read. Natalie's book. Can you hold it up again, please? This is so
Oh, thank you
good.
for reminding me.
That I go through it in a way I'm savoring reading the pages of her book because it's so powerful and there's so much wisdom as she shared, and it's something that I want to last and to stick with me. I want it to become a part of
Mm.
who I am. And so that's what that intention that I have for this series. I want these concepts, these conversations to feel like a part of who you are in your own becoming. becoming better, becoming healthier, happier. It's so important. This life, we have a definitive end and beginning date, right?
Yes.
So we can make it joyful, enjoyable, and mean something in between. It's so powerful. And it does connect to our legacy, what we're saying. So these types of, I would say, experiences, conversations are ones for the archives, ones that can look back upon their timeless conversations and concepts that we're talking about. These are based on things that are ever true, that are evergreen, absolutely. And so these can be passed on. And we want to just offer you that sense of comfort, that sense of trust, that we want to give this information, share it, connect with you on it from that perspective, from those perspectives.
Yeah, and I know we had time here. Oh my God, the time always goes so fast, right?
It
Thank you all for those of you who joined us. We're going to be wrapping up, but I just want to say, like, this is a space where you can bring your full self. I mean, that's what we're trying. This container that Keshawn and I are creating is a place where you can bring your full, vulnerable, vocal, self to, again, questions, concerns, whatever. We are here for you. We are here to support you. Even though this is just a thing you're jumping on and off, like we create this container intentionally because this is our passion, this is our drive, this is our why, this is the heart of why we do what we do, and we want to have different ways of people engaging with us, and this is one of those ways. And we'll share more about different things we'll have coming up in the next maybe later on in the month. But for now, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being present. And those of you who are listening to recording, hey, we want to say hi. And we want you to know every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing these lives until we get sick of them. I don't know.
Until something comes up, until we're inspired differently. And that's a great thing about the work that we do. We are spirit-led. We are moving off of inspiration. And we do that through what we're gaining from the conversations we're having with each other and people in our collective networks, in our communities. We are seeing it from the lens of what the needs are in the people that we serve. So that's where we'll be pouring into and where we'll be connecting from. What the people need, what people who are engaged with us, who follow us, who are in community with us need. That's where we're going to come from and address in these conversations. So thank you for your time. One last person said, thank you both ladies. We are mission aligned, and everything you said about self-awareness resonates with me. It's self-aware leaders are the best leaders. I'd be willing to debate anybody on that. They're the best.
Me too. I'm with you there. It's everything. It's
everything. It truly is. And it can be scary, but with resources, tools, and support, it's better. It's better. It's less scary. It's more attainable, and you'll get there faster. So
I want to say we can't wait to see you all the next Tuesday, which will be
in May.
May 9th.
Yes.
At 1, and we will have an agenda that time. This was the introduction call. We will have an agenda. We can't wait to see you and look forward to all that will evolve and then be unveiled in this series.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. We're going to sign off now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.